All right. This is take 2 of me making this video because I messed up on the other one and then I didn't have room on the second one. So that was great. Um, I am going to talk about Canva AI and Canva Magic Write specifically. I bring this one up because in Northside, students are not allowed Chat GPT. And when I say they're not allowed, they blocked it on their Chromebooks. But they are allowed access to Canva AI. And that has to do with like privacy stuff. It's above my pay grade, but this is what they're allowed to use. So this is what we use in class. And not even when I'm being generous, like we use this as an assignment. So yes, I do want my kids writing. Yes, I do want them reading. Yes, I do want them knowing how to use technology and using it as a thought partner and not necessarily like depend on AI. And I think that's the goal for all of us as educators. It's a hard one to reach, especially now that we go through all these changes every single year. But what I noticed playing with this and in my last 2 videos is that if you go in, you can literally Canva AI anything. It'll help you do so many things. You can code, write, design. It'll help you create images. There is a ton to do on Canva. And when it first came up, I was a beta user for the AI side of Canva before they released it to everyone. And I will tell you that it has gotten a lot better. It is not perfect, just like ChatGPT, but it is something that I feel comfortable using and allowing my kids to use when we're writing or when we're about to write. So you can literally put in your idea, whatever you have here, whatever you need, and just like ChatGPT, it'll come up with stuff for you. So one of my favorite things to do with my students is during Halloween time, we write horror stories or scary stories, and I give them like the premise of it. I tell them like, hey, you guys are in a school and something is happening, you don't know what, but I want you to write that part. And they go through, and some of them are really, really good. Others, I have to wait until we have a different prompt. And it just has to be that one prompt that they're like, oh, okay. And they have ideas for it. But I wanted to use that as kind of like an intro to this. So if you go on here, I'm just going to put, give me 5 ideas of let's do scary stories I could write for my English class. Okay, and then like, thanks for you. It'll give you, like the title, and then it'll tell you like what's it's gonna have, and then they have to like add those details. So it is good for generating ideas. A lot of times when I'm going through, even with my advanced kids, when we're going through a text and we're talking about specific things, I will revert to Canva and I'll put in there like, we talked about these themes. What other themes are there that we might be missing? And then it'll come up with them. Normally, those themes that they come up with, of course, since we've already been talking about them, they're not as prevalent. But it's good to like open their eyes and see like, okay, we are digging deep into this text, but it's not everything. Something I also like for them to do, and this is if they have finished pieces, or not even finished, like if it's started, I'm okay with that as long as I can see the process. And then when they're working AI, normally like, okay, paste your before, now paste your after. Why did you change it? That sort of thing. So that I'm still focused on the process of them writing whatever they're writing. And then, of course, there are some where I'm like, no, you cannot use AI at all. and they just go for it. So these two are some writings that I wrote in my past years in teaching, and I just reuse them over and over again. But they're based on mentor texts that we use, which they're just like little short stories, and then we kind of mimic what the author did and how they wrote their pieces. I don't quite remember which one I'm mimicking here on this one that I'm copying, but I'm just going to use it just to show you an example. Okay, so if I'm here, this is my blank document. I can just paste it in there, and then I can click. So this is my paper, right? This is what I have my kids read as an example. I can click on here, and I don't know, maybe I feel like I'm not giving many details and I need to add more details. I can literally just ask it where it thinks I need them. Where do you think I could add more details or be more clear in my writing? Now, when I click generate, you're going to see some of the ideas are really good and some of them are really bad. But that's the point, right? I want my kids to be able to decipher which ones are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones and which ones are the ones that just don't fit into what they need to do. So I love this, adding more emotional depth. That is hard, I think, for any author. They enhance key moments, so we could talk more about when I slipped and how I felt and why it was funny. I could probably add some dialogue. We can talk about more personal reflections. These actually aren't that bad. Normally we get like a random one that's like horrible. So I'm telling you, Canva is getting better. So the cool thing about this is my kids could just insert this into their writing. Now, some people think that's cool. Some people think that it's not. I like it. And the reason I like it is because it keeps their own formatting. And even if like they want to use some of the words that Canva used on here, they would still have to change it and make it their own. Because there's no way they're going to put like, oh yeah, I slipped on a grape and then describe the atmosphere of your shifts. Like they're going to have to look at those pieces and add those ideas into there. And really, you don't even have to insert it. If they're reading it, they'll probably know where they're going to add, and then they can go back and do that either on their paper or on their computer. But yeah, this is Canva magic, right? So if you guys are ever wondering, like, what can I use? I don't want my kids using Snapchat AI and they can't use their phones anyway this year.